This is a video response to Retro Rivals, who did a video called Our Top 10 Favorite Things in Our Game Room. And I love that video because Scott and Jen talked about all the reasons behind why they were their favorite items. And there was always some kind of emotional connection or some kind of really great memory attached to the items. You get to know people better, and I just love hearing people's experiences in gaming and what they love about it. So I'm gonna share with you my top 10 favorite things in my game room. Now, Retro Rivals didn't have any games on their list, but I do. This is Hanagumi Taisen Columns 2 for the Sega Dreamcast. Now this only came out in Japan, and this is the first game I ever imported. And that would have been around 2002 or 2003. Now the Dreamcast is region locked, but I happen to have the CD Game Shark, or whatever it was called, which you could do some disc swapping and get the game to run. Now there's two parts to this game, like most Sakura Wars games. But in this one, there's a theater management / dating simulation. And then on the other part is a really great falling block match 3 puzzle game. Basically Columns by Sega. The puzzle game is what got me, and it was a ton of fun. Now, there were certain characters that could only be used in the puzzle game by playing through the dating sim part. So, I don't speak Japanese, so I printed this out. This is a guide from GameFAQs, of course. Look at all that. I played through the entire game with this guide, unlocked all the characters, unlocked everything, and had a great time. Actually, I didn't import another game until 2020. And I don't know, 2020 was a crazy year, and it's also the year I returned to importing games. And I've imported a lot since then. Nowadays, a lot of physical releases don't get released here in America, but they do get either an Asian version or a Japanese version. And luckily, nowadays, all the consoles are pretty much region free. So it's actually a great time to import games. But I just have great memories of sitting on my bedroom floor with the guide next to me, playing through this dating sim, just so I could unlock more characters in the puzzle part, which I love. Okay, next I want to talk about the Shmup Brace. The Shmup Brace is awesome. I found the Shmup Brace deep in the forest of the Amazon. After much searching, I finally found a brace that just makes the TV go vertical, and it's perfect for playing shmups on. You can't actually see the Shmup Brace, but see this cord? This leads to the Shmup Brace. Now, what happens when I pull on the Shmup Brace cord? Well, there's a little snap. And voila, now you can play shmups. We'll leave it like that. This is number 8. I want to talk about my coasters. 2020 was a strange year, right? That's when I took up coaster making. It was just one of many hobbies that I took up in 2020. I found a tutorial on how to make coasters, and I just went a little crazy with them. I've made a ton of them, a lot of them video game themed, some of them TV and movie themed. They have cork back. The sealant I use, and I've used a few, they all seem to stick. If the glass starts to sweat, it'll stick to the bottom, which is a real shame. I'm still trying to work that out years later. But, however, they also make just great little art pieces just around the room on a little display such as this. Coasters. Number 7 is my Katamari. My very own Katamari ball. My friend Anna created this for me. Oh gosh, probably in 2012, 2013. Seems to be paper mache onto a styrofoam ball, I'm guessing. I love Katamari Damacy, and this was just an incredible gift out of the blue from her one day. I love it. Thanks, Anna. Number 6 is my arcade art collection. Specifically, I'd like to point out the Musapi's Choco Marker art. Now, I love that game, and I did a 20th year anniversary video on YouTube about it. I had befriended the creator on Facebook right before I nuked Facebook, Kinyuki Manabe. And that was a big thrill for me that we became friends on Facebook. This is my newest piece, Poochie Carrot, kind of breakout Arkanoid clone. This frame just happened to be lying around the house and sort of fit it. I need to get a proper frame for it, get it properly framed. It's kind of fallen out there. But I was able to find a lot of these on eBay, and I've got a lot more saved on my wish list there. So when I get a chance, I'll be getting some more to add to the collection. There's a lot of wall space in here still. Number 5 is my video game toys. I couldn't pick just one, so I just picked them all. I've brought out the Resident Evil 4 people right here, including Jill. Because why not? So yeah, I want to complete the rest of the Resident Evil 4 figures. Some of them get very pricey. The El Gigante, I think, goes for $100-something. The Merchant, I think, goes for maybe a couple $100. I doubt I'll ever have those, but there's quite a few other ones that I still want to get. Number 4, in no particular order, is the Ambernic RG351V. This little guy. Now, why is this one of my favorite things in my game room? At this point, this is probably a lower end model. I feel like there have been a lot of advancements in these kinds of handheld, emulation handhelds. But it's one of my top 10 favorite items because it got me into handheld gaming and modding my systems. Now, even though I had the original Game Boy when it came out, I was never crazy for it. I don't think I even asked for it. It was a gift given to me. And I played Tetris on it, and I played Mario World, Super Mario Land, but it was okay. It was just okay. You know, didn't have color, it didn't have good lighting. Anyway, a couple years ago, this caught my attention because I read that it could play all these systems up to the Dreamcast, including arcade, including PlayStation, all the old systems. People were disappointed with the front end of the system, so they started modding it. I watched these simple videos on how to mod it, followed those videos, modded it successfully, put all these great games on here, and since this, I've gotten a 3DS, I've gotten a Steam Deck, I've gotten a DS, a PSP, I think that's it, and I've modded all of them. And since this, I've modded also a PS3, a Wii U, and maybe that's it. I want to mod my Wii, and that's it. Anyway, this showed me how great handheld gaming could be. Handheld gaming is awesome. Now, I still love and prefer gaming on a console, nice big TV, but this has its place too, and this is what opened my eyes to that. The Portland Retro Gaming Expo. This is my Portland Retro Gaming Expo pass from 2023. This was the first video game convention I ever went to, and I've got it hanging up here on my wall, and it was awesome. It was such a fun time. And I love that it used the artwork from the Nintendo Friday the 13th game. I love that because it started on a Friday the 13th that year. It's quite the experience to be in a place with a ton of other people who share your same interests and share your same hobby and love it just as much as you do. It was awesome. You know, to be honest, I was hoping for myself personally a little more community with people. It was hard to connect with people. I did meet up with Retro Game Players, he was there, he had a booth there. I talked a little bit with Radical Reggie. I talked a little bit with Kelsey, who runs Pink Gorilla Games. I saw Metal Jesus multiple times just walking by, but I am shy and I do get a little anxious in crowds sometimes. Okay, all the time. But I still had a great time. And I missed last year because we went to Japan, but I'm hoping to go again this year. So yeah, that was a great experience. I loved it. Definitely going again this year, hopefully. Yeah. Okay, number 2 and 1, they're kind of a combo deal. The Sega Dreamcast and the game Soul Calibur. Now first let me explain Soul Calibur. It's not on here just because it is one of my top 10 favorite games of all time. That's not why it's on here. As I was saying before, it's because of the memories and the connections made through the game and through the Dreamcast. This is a little bit of a story. So in '99, I was failing out or had failed out of art school. I had taken up drinking and drugs, and I was kind of headed down a dark path. And I happened to have this friend, John. John, I hope you don't mind. I went over to John's apartment one day, and there he was playing on the Dreamcast, and Soul Calibur was on the TV. And this was probably after a year or more of me not playing video games. I had this notion that I would give them up. I was an adult now, whatever. Anyway, I was blown away when I saw this playing at John's apartment. And from then on, I was kind of all in on the Dreamcast. And it led to some friendships, and one particular friendship that's lasted for 30 years, which is crazy and awesome. The Dreamcast provided me with an escape back then that wasn't detrimental to me. Now I know games can be addictive, almost anything can be addictive, but it never was for me, and it's still not. It's not an addiction, it's a hobby, and yes, sometimes it is an escape, but sometimes that's healthy. And that's what this was for me. John and I would play Soul Calibur sometimes every night, and we both got insanely good at it. We had our own language surrounding it. There was no mercy mode, which meant I don't care if you have to scratch your head, I'm still going to just kill you. And I also found a friend group there, and most were just acquaintances, but John was a real friend and was a true friend and still is, and he's my best friend. Like I said, it's not all because of the Dreamcast and Soul Calibur, and John and I probably haven't played Soul Calibur since, I'm guessing, the early 2000s, maybe 2003. We're still friends to this day, and that's a huge reason why these two things are top in my game room. Besides the fact that the Dreamcast is an incredible little machine with incredible little arcade experiences that you can't find in other places.
Except for the arcade.
And Soul Calibur, one of the best fighting games, if not the best fighting game I've ever played. Oh yeah, and just as a quick side note, I'm sober now and have been for years. I don't drink, I don't do drugs. I still play Dreamcast. Okay, that was my top 10 favorite things in my game room. Now I hope someone watching this will make their own video response, because I'm so interested to see what you all have in your game rooms and the stories behind them. If you do, tag me so I can see it, because I would love to. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.